What's up everyone, Lance Hedrick here, and today we're going to look at this weird coffee satellite. All right, first off, I want to thank 58Espresso, the people that create this, for sending it to me to review. I'm going to give you my honest review of it. I'm going to show you everything the way that I always do. So I did get gifted this, but that does not stop me from being critical. So let's get right into this. First off, it looks weird. It's the SPTK-1. They literally named it after the Sputnik. SPTK, right? Sputnik. And it's because it looks like a satellite. It looks like something extraterrestrial that landed. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little goofy with these tiny thin little legs, but their idea was to create, essentially to take a group head out of a commercial espresso machine that you could walk around with. So if you unscrew these legs, well, I'm not going to sit here and unscrew them, but if you unscrew the legs, it's almost like you have the top of, I don't know, like a Strata, right? It looks like a La Marzocco Strata or something that has the group head sticking out like that. Maybe like a taller E61 or something. Anyway, so the idea was to be able to carry around a 58 millimeter group head. And so what you have in here is just a big reservoir. Let's go ahead and open this up so you can see inside. You have a big reservoir to put your boiling water in. Okay, you have your, well, and then obviously you have this handle because this is not sturdy enough to be able to put the portafilter in and out. So you hold on to that to pull the portafilter in and out. A standard 58 millimeter, okay? You can fit any basket in there. They have a really small basket in here. I'm probably gonna be a rebel and grab a bigger one. So it fits any of the commercial 58 millimeter baskets. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I've got a 20-gram basket in there. And so you're going to be able to pull espresso, prepare your espresso just like you would on a commercial machine. Now the way that pressure is created, obviously you see no lever, you see nothing except for this crazy controller. So as you can see, there's no lever, there's no electrical cords, there's nothing in order to produce pressure. So the way that they're producing pressure is by using this highly portable air pump controller. I'm not sure if that's an actual term, but it's what I'm going to call it. So essentially what you do is you screw this bad boy into this hole right here. We're going to go, if I can get it lined up. Today on Lance's Struggles. Okay, I'm going to screw that in nice and tight. And then what this does is it screws straight into this little guy, which this is probably going to remind a lot of you who are cyclists of the place that you put air in your tire. I can't think of the words. Words are dead to me today.
Valve.
Valve. Thank you, Jason. So valve, we unscrew it just like a valve, like on a car tire or on a bike tire. And then over here is if the pressure goes too high, you lift it, and it does that. It goes whenever the pressure is too high. Kind of like on that Bellman stovetop steamer, shameless plug, link right there, that has one of those little releases if the pressure gets too high. So yeah, so they thought through a lot of this in creating this machine. Now, whether or not it's functional, whether or not it's good, I don't know. We're going to find out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pull a shot of espresso. I'm also going to test the temperature throughout the shot and do maybe 2 or 3 in a row and test with a Scace. So let me grab my Scace real quick. It's going to be in my hand in 3, 2, there it is. So I'm going to put the Scace in here, I'm going to fill it with boiling water, and I'm going to measure what it does throughout 25-30 seconds. Then I'm going to dump it out, fill it with water again, and let it go through and see what it looks like in a second shot after it's been preheated with the first. And we're going to get a good idea of what temperature stability is like in this little guy. So everything they have is obviously food safe. You can check out the what they're made of on their website. I won't go through and bore you with those details here. Mostly because I can't remember them all. That's the dirty little secret. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill this with boiling water. I'll put the top on. I'll show you how the pressure works. And we're going to use the Scace in order to track the temperature. So if y'all are not familiar with this, Greg Scace made this in the early 2000s. And it is named after him. But essentially, it is a basket that can be used with any commercial 58 millimeter portafilter. I got to get this thermocouple through it. But essentially what he did is he made, there we go, is he created something that represents a puck in there. All right, so obviously if you just put a thermocouple inside of a portafilter, you'd have a couple of issues. One, you wouldn't have anything to represent the puck. And two, you would need to have something to slow down the water coming out, so much so that it is similar to the flow rate of espresso leaving the puck. So all those obviously very much influence the temperature of the water inside the portafilter itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And we're going to pull the first one without any preheating, without anything like that, because we're going to do 2 or 3 in a row. So what I'm going to do is take that, plug it into my Fluke. Floop. Anyone remember Spy Kids? All right. So we got that up. Now what I'm going to do is whenever I'm ready, all I have to do is screw this on to the valve here. Thank you, Jason, again, for saving my bunt on the word valve. So we're going to screw that on, and then when I click go, essentially this controller, when you hold down the middle button, it turns it on. You charge it up using the preferred phone's phone charger, the Androids, the USB-C. And so anyway, you go side to side in order to change the top bar. So it's kind of like an OPV, right? You're setting the pressure that you want it to hit. So you can go down to 8, 7, 6, 5s, and that'll be the top pressure of what it will hit at and stay at until you finish your shot. So there's a gradual pre-infusion, and then it rises to whatever you want. I'm going to put it at 9 bar. We have a pressure gauge on top here that we can track it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the water in here, and we're going to test what it's at. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'm going to fill this up. I have 210 degree water that I'm filling this up with, and I'm going to let it run for about 25-ish seconds, and we're going to see what the temperature looks like. So I've got that filled. I'm going to put the top on, screw it on, screw it on, screw it on, screw it on. I'm going to turn on my, there we go. So already the temperature is obviously rising because it's feeling that steam, that heat. We're going to put this on, twisty, twisty, twisty. So obviously I'm losing heat as I'm doing this, but not egregiously so. And then now that this is on, I'm going to just go ahead and hit. Oh, it turned off on me actually. Let me get it back on. There we go, it's on. And I'm going to hit. You ready? You're going to hear this. And 3, 2, 1, boom. That was anticlimactic. Let's try that again. So it's generating a lot of force. It's pushing air through this. As you see, water is coming out from the bottom. We are at 63 Celsius, 64 Celsius. Woo! That's actually really cold. 63 Celsius. And it's going down 62, 61.9. Yeah, 62 is where it's kind of staying at. And we're at 8.5 bar of pressure. Let me see what's on the pressure gauge. Shows 9 on the pressure gauge. And we sat around about 63 Celsius that whole time, which is obviously quite low. All right, so of course there's still going to be pressure. So as you see, because it's a pressurized container, and so that's when you can release it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I would not advise releasing it that way. I thought it'd be fun for the show. You can slowly unscrew here, but you know, I'm a rebel without a cause. And now we're down to 0 bar. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. We're going to do round 2. I'm going to make sure this gets back to boiling, and we'll see if it improves with the second one. Also, the portafilter was not heated up. Now it's heated up. We're just going to leave everything. In fact, I'll take this out though real quick. I'm going to. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna clap so we can have magic to have all this reset. And all right, so I'm about to fill it up with boiling again, and I hope that that first one, I'm wanting to show that whatever you're using, you need to preheat. That got up to 63 Celsius, and that's where it peaked. And it's because this wasn't preheated, the portafilter wasn't preheated. I'm not saying it's going to get up to 90 or anything on this round, but it's not acceptable to be brewing with 63 degree water. That's ridiculously low. So we're going to see what it's like on the second round now that it's all preheated and good to go. All right, so we got that screwed in. Now we're going to screw on this onto the valve. See, I'm crushing it now. All right. The portafilter's already at 60 degrees Celsius, so we're already at a win. All right, the thermocouple is. And that's, remember the first time it was at like 30. It sucked all that heat out. So please preheat whenever you're using a lever machine, you're using this or anything. All right, are we ready? So we're going to start it. All right. So we're at 69, 72, 74, 75, 75. All right, we've peaked at 75. The pressure is at like 8. It shows 7.6. It builds slower on here than on the actual gauge. We've peaked at 75. All right. We're going to do a third one just to see if we can get the temperature any higher. If not, that's obviously a little problematic. So this is how I would suggest releasing the pressure. It's just to slowly unscrew where the valve is. Much more controlled. You hear that? Much more controlled. You see that pressure going down. There we go. And there we are. All right, now I'm going to reset in 3, 2, 1. All right, we have done boiling water twice now, so 2 preheat cycles. So if this does not get me up to at least 90 Celsius, that's not great. You're going to want to be able to brew with at least 90 degrees Celsius when making espresso. So I'm going to go as fast as I can to get this going, so we're losing as little heat as possible. And we're going to just, we're going to see what it does. And what it does is what it does. This is the last time I'm going to measure it with the Scace. Then we're just going to pull a shot of espresso, get a taste. But if it's not getting above 90, it's probably going to be quite sour with low texture. So anyway, let's see what's going on here. All right. Let's turn this on. You hold down that middle button. All right. Then we have our fluke, and here we go. Whoop. Let's get that centered, and boom. So we're at 68, 75, 79, 80, 80.5, 80.6. Looks like we're topping out. We're getting higher each time, but we're definitely topping out at 80.2, 80, and now it's going down. 80, 79.9. Yep. Go and just stop. It is getting higher each time. Maybe we try it one more time, see what we can get. I'm going to do this again because I'm silly. Woo! Woo! Nice. Okay. I will try it one more time at boiling. Now that we've preheated it 3 times, please get up to 90. Here's my last attempt to see if we can get better heat retention. I'm going to pour some water in at boiling. All right, and then I'm going to quickly, I'm pouring a lot in there so that it loses heat more slowly. I'm pouring it almost to the top. All right, now I'm going to twist it on tightly, and I'm going to quickly get it over here. I'm going to twist this in. All right, let's see. So it's already at 76. I will say I left the portafilter in because I really want to give this a fighting chance. I need it to hit 90. Let's go. We're at 80. We're at 83. 84. 84.9. Come on at 85. Come on. Come on. Nope, 84.8. And now it starts its downhill progression. Wah, wah. I need that the Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live, the wah, wah. Okay, well, we'll do this at least because it's fun. Nice. Yeah, so obviously it's not really getting to a proper temperature to make really nice espresso, especially with lightly roasted coffees. You could probably on the 3rd or 4th pass with really hot water get suitable dark roast coffee. Good news is I have dark roast today that I will pull. I'm not a big fan of dark roast, but it's probably the only thing that'll be suitable with how poorly, honestly, this holds temperature. I think the design's really cool. It's quite novel. It's unique. But as far as practical, it doesn't really do the job for lighter roasted coffees or even medium for that matter. So we peaked at 85, not even 85 Celsius, and that was without me taking the thermocouple out in between shots. So that's not great. It's not great. Anyway, let me unplug that, turn this off, because that is expensive. Thank you, Patreon, for letting me buy that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and prep a shot. We're going to pull it, and then we'll end this video. All right, so that's about it. You saw from that side point of view. Now at the end, you're supposed to switch cups, and I neglected to do so, which is another little quirk of this. Since the pressure is still so high inside here, it's gonna continue to extract even when you stop pumping air into it, obviously. So what you need to do is quickly switch out cups, and then you can release the pressure. I didn't do so, so I was already gonna drink a espresso with 80-degree water that was used for extraction, so might as well drink with all that little extra bits at the end. It's going to be delicious either way. Delicious. All right, well, that's my review of the SPTK-1. As you saw from the Scace, it's not really up to snuff as far as temperature for the majority of us that are drinking medium or light roasted coffee. If you're doing dark, again, you're going to want to preheat it 2, 3, maybe even 4 times in order to get it to a sufficient temperature, even for a dark roasted coffee. So if you're in the market for something like this, just make sure you know you're going to have to preheat that Sputnik, okay? All right, well, that's it for me today. Until next time, I hope you brew something tasty, and cheers.